Okay, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. This is the VGC and the singles playoff league for whatchamacallit, the BFR Island Tours. Sorry, BFR was an acronym that meant something, and now it means Battle Frontier Ranch. Anyway, very cool.
It changes every season.
Oh, that's
BFR
cool.
means Battle Frontier and Resort.
That's,
Don't listen to him.
Thank you.
Which one is him?
So my name is Matt. I play VGC on Showdown in this great league and in another league. I'm joined here by Electric.
Hello.
And
I make YouTube on Manchi the Amazing.
Yes, and then also joined by Jason or Jace
for like probably the next 15 minutes.
That's cool. We're blitzing through this, okay? All right.
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna look at how each of these island teams, which real quick, although the only people who are going to watch this are already in the league. But anyway, real quick, we've been rotating through these different island teams that you see here, and each week one of these island teams gets combined with a 3 Pokemon team that we also have, and you mix and match and make your best draft league. So in 1 week, I might get a team that has, Dondozo, Iron Tread, Screamtail, Crocodile, whatever, and combine that with my 3 Pokemon of Pachirisu, Murkrow, and I can combine and mix and match. In playoffs, someone has floated the idea of take these teams, which you see here, which are the singles league teams, and combine them with our VGC teams. So you get teams that were designed for single synergy thrown into VGC where they will have no synergy, and vice versa. And it's going to be amazing.
Accidental synergy, which is the beautiful part.
That's going to be the best part by far. So, okay.
We will absolutely not be doing this.
We're totally doing it.
If anyone wants to for fun, they're more than welcome to.
Okay. If this video gets to 1 million likes before next week, we will be doing this.
100%.
If this video gets to 10 likes, it'll set a record. Did someone just join? Oh man. So we've got like 5 people in voice chat now. Okay, all right. So we're gonna start with singles into VGC into singles. I think that'll be more fun. Let's start with the VGC into singles one. So everyone get first island is the Bounce House, Tatsugiri, Dondozo, Palmont, Hoppip, Flamigo, Gothorita, Staraptor, Cyclizar. So I see an Uber here.
I see 2 Pokemon that are currently banned you. Or restricted, I guess.
Wait. So. Palmont's banned?
Gothorita is actually pretty strong.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because Shadow Tag.
Well, what? Wait. Good. Staraptor, I think, just got banned from RU.
That's not OU.
Yeah.
It's still good, Mark.
Palmont is usable. Yeah, Palmont's usable in OU. I don't think it is OU right now, but it's
blessing banned in
BFR
singles. No. Okay.
And then Dondozo is an OU staple. Like Flamigo's not good, Tatsu's not good, but they're not terrible. Like Storm Drains are really good.
Usable.
Yeah. Like
I would say the main concern I have about this team is that it doesn't have access to any hazards. It's got hazard clearing in Cyclizar, as well as pretty good pivots between that Palmont, the Flamigo, the Staraptor, and Cyclizar. But not having your own hazards means that the travel team is reliant on fighting hazards more.
That's true.
Tatsugiri also has rapid spin, so you have plenty of removal.
Yeah, but you're not gonna like Palmont's gonna come just shy of those KOs. Like Flamigo's gonna come just shy of those KOs. You really need that chip damage. So that's a good point. Do either of you play singles in our league?
Yeah.
How widespread are?
Not in this league. Both of us are in the VGC in this league.
How wide?
Well, I have I think 3 championships under my belt in BFR and singles.
Mm-hmm.
So in this league, yes, just not this season.
Okay, and so like, how widespread are the travel teams with hazards?
I think most of them have at least one setter.
We have Rivka, who has 1 Toxic Spike setter. Billy has none. Hooby has Stealth Rock. Matt has Toxic Spikes and Spikes. Washer Mashin has Ditto and Hatterene, which are technically hazard setters. Schnarfy has Masquerade, which is webs. Papa has Stealth Rock. Buffoon has Spikes, and I think Toxic Spikes. I think he got
So-
this gen.
So this is
Milo has none. Slowking has none. Sorry, Hallow has none. Magnus has Rocks and Toxic Spikes. And Agent 7 has Rocks.
so almost every team has hazards. So that's going to be important for all of these because a lot of these teams obviously are not going to have hazards. So okay, I feel pretty good about this team. I don't think it's fantastic, but I mean, this is reasonable. I would expect this to be one of the 6 teams picked.
Without having talked about any of the other teams, I could feasibly see this being the 5th or 6th option for a team.
Like Shed.
I think you guys are smoking. I think
I'm gonna have to look at the other teams before I commit.
Okay.
To anything more than
So
maybe.
I don't have to look at any other teams. I know this one sucks because you have one wall and a bunch of really frail breakers. There's not really good setup options for Cyclozar.
So besides
Hotpip,
Hotpip, I don't think Gozo and Gothorita are secondary walls besides the Hotpip, who was the greatest one along the format.
Okay.
We gotta go. But
All right.
in my opinion, this team is like probably gonna be 9 or 10.
Okay. I'm going to give it a score of 50.
Would not take.
Well, we're going to give it a score of 50, and that's great because then if it turns out to suck, we can put all the other scores like super high, and if it turns out to be really good, we can put them all super low. So we're going to start at 50.
Agreed.
Okay, so I don't know what that's out of. Okay, next up, Raichu, Barraskewda, Pelipper, Arboliva, Fungus Misdreavus, Gengar, and Golduck. This team looks good. Like
This team only has Toxic Spikes in his Toast Facets.
Right, but like...
But it has 2 Swiss Swim Infuses, which is okay.
Yeah, you got Pelipper. Pelipper's going to stay alive forever. I think...
Arboliva good in singles.
Yeah!
It's not like bad, right?
about as good in singles as it is in VGC.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's cool.
Raichu, I think, is significantly worse, but...
In singles? Yeah, absolutely. However, it's okay because it's on rain.
Yeah. Fungus is probably not going to come. Golduck is...
Fungus is actually usable just to do like spore.
Fungus is pretty solid in singles.
Well, don't you have Sleep Claws?
Yes.
But you also only have one Mon that's awake.
Okay. Yeah, Gengar shouldn't be bad, but yeah, the lack of hazards sucks, and like Gengar can't really abuse Focus Sash as well in a meta that has hazards. So
that's true, but it can abuse Life Orb and Choice Scarf much better.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're gonna outspeed a lot of stuff because you don't have to worry about like
Tailwind. Very strong.
Yeah.
The fact that they have rain to go over the top means that they're less reliant on hazards than the other team, which was mostly milling speed breakers without boosting abilities.
Well, and I mean, like
this team is
oh, sorry. Go.
I was just gonna say this team is pretty weakened by not having Floatzel on it.
Right.
Who was kind of the premier rain abuser, but like just as far as a singles team goes, it's pretty clear. Like just smack stuff with Barraskewda and Golduck and rain.
Yeah.
Barraskewda is of merchantable quality,
and like
even if it's not as top tier Floatzel.
And like if you have something that resists water, like you have an Arboliva there, like you have options to deal with it. You have a Raichu, you know.
Gengar. Yeah.
So
like,
I think this team would be very, very good. I think like you have Pelipper with a slow U-turn, maybe Focus Sash, maybe Dambrot, but then you U-turn in, get Barraskewda in safely, and then just Banded. I don't think you even need Swift Swim, although you probably would. No, yeah, because there's no point with Protector. Yeah, but then you're adamant. You're adamant. You don't even need to invest in speed, really.
Exactly.
I would definitely.
You're adamant handed rain boost in Terra Water Liquidation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's free Terra in standard as well.
Yeah. So.
Awesome. Why didn't I join up?
I mean, I think this is going to be really good. So I'm going to give it. Let's give this like an 85. I think it's really good. I think it's better than mine for sure.
If we jump up this much, I think this team is better than Bounce House, but not significantly.
Okay, we'll call it 70.
I think it's way better.
Okay, we'll call it 75.
I'm fine with 70.
Okay, all right. Electric, Boogie Woogie Woogie. Okay, so this team, Eevees.
Rock and Jingle, yeah.
So Dragonite is good. It's kind of one note. Volcarona's not bad.
Volcarona is really good, and
Gyarados is good.
Oh, Dragonite is on one note. Dragonite can be Banded 1 week, Dragon Dance the next week, and like Defensive Roost the next week.
Okay, sorry, it's 3 note.
Does it learn Roost in this format? I thought it didn't.
Oh, does it not?
I don't know. A bunch of stuff doesn't.
I feel like Dragonite
does learn Roost.
I used Roost Dragonite last week at your island.
It does not Roost. You're completely correct. You did. Dragonite's really good. Volcarona is really good. Umbreon is really good. Jolteon is acceptable. Leafeon is acceptable, and Gyarados is really good.
Yeah.
Glaceon is great too. Glaceon has really good stats. You just Terra out of the ice type, and that's a legitimate combine threat.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I suppose.
Someone
Better
just
than Jolteon?
hang on. Someone just jumped in out of nowhere to say no, it's not. Who is that?
That was Winty.
As a resident ice type user, it's just not good. Sorry, mate.
Okay. Well, you say that you're an expert on ice types, but if Glaceon tears into like fire or something,
That's still weak to rock.
yeah,
Which this team has no rock resistance, and it's already got 4 rock
Oh,
resistance.
man. Yeah, it's a good thing that there's no like
Terra into.
man.
It's mid at best.
What-
Glaceon is just a better version.
Yeah. Wouldn't it suck if there was like some move that the opponent could click where every turn you switch in one of these rock weak Pokemon, it took damage based on its rock weakness?
Yeah,
Like that.
Yeah.
it's crazy that we have an item that stops that too.
Yeah, it's
It would be
crazy
balanced
that
if there was like an item that prevented that.
you're
I
forced.
think that,
Crazy
I think
that you're
this
forced to
team is
use a
nowhere
certain.
near as good as Yoshi's Island, and I think it's competitive with, but maybe a bit better than Bounce House.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. Like Dragonite's really good, Volt's really good, but
Glaceon, I don't know how you're arguing this.
Glaceon
Well,
may
one
not
of
be
the
the best
Ubers
point
is cycles up.
Dragonite, Volcarona, Umbreon, Gyarados is a super solid core, even though it is rock.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm a bit of a hater. I'll admit.
I mean,
I give this team a 70.
you think it's just a little. Really, I don't think this is better than my team, like
I
significantly.
mean, Dragonite, Volcarona, and Gyarados. Like, if you have
That's
if you
true.
have a good base team, those Pokemon are so difficult to prep for in singles. The stuff they do in VGC is just like a shadow
Yeah.
of the stuff they do in singles.
And then I think actually what puts it over the top is you've got all the wish passing too, like from your evolutions, like
Hmm.
you know, it's not.
Umbreon is so
Keep
good.
Gyarados bulky.
Keep-
Volcarona and Dragonite can heal themselves and be like super bulky.
Yeah.
Setup. You basically you have like 3 different win cons here in Gyarados, Dragonite, and Volcarona. And the opponent has to prep for all of them. And
Okay.
then they also have to prep like to bring Taunt and counter Umbreon. And then you have like 4 different like key tech pieces.
All right, I'm gonna put it at
But the balance
55.
has top hit.
I'm sorry, what?
As well as
I was just saying, that's has top hit. though.
This is true. This is a true statement.
Is the only good mon in the
I'm
Bounce House team.
still-
Cyclizar is okay, though.
I'm still waiting to see Hoppip get used by someone, especially once I clinch playoffs. That would be nice if someone could use Hoppip. No,
Didn't it all come against the Skiploom?
oh,
I swear there was a game where Jumpluff, Skiploom, and Hoppip were all a team preview. I don't think they had the field, but I'm
Crazy.
pretty sure they were all a team preview.
This is
I don't
why
know.
I play VGC.
All right, so England. Okay, so Garchomp obviously is very good. Weavile famously is not good this generation, but it's still really good. It's just outclassed, if I recall. Corviknight's great in singles. Rotom Keat's competitive in singles. Slowbro is. Does Slowbro get teleport still?
No.
No, but it's still really good, right? It's still got Future Sight.
It's still fine.
I think it's RU now, actually.
Yeah, but like it was MU in Gen 7.
Yeah, an RU is
Yeah.
like that doesn't mean
Boost
it's
is really
bad.
good,
It just
right?
means it's outclassed.
Yeah.
Even Phalanx, I think, is
in a draft league scenario, Garchomp, Rotom Heat, Corviknight, Slowbro with Weavile as like a breaker is like such a solid core. You have speed with Garchomp. You have like really good defensive typings with Rotom and Core. You have great like potential to switch
Yeah.
between these guys, and they heal themselves. I love this team.
I'm gonna give it like
a 200 points.
I'm gonna give him like 120.
Way
Like
more than
yeah,
120. I'd say this is more than twice as good as Yoshi's Island.
Holy shit!
Firmly more than twice as
Okay.
good as Yoshi's
I don't
Island.
know if it's that much better.
we're gonna give it
I think the
185.
Garchomp itself is about as good as most of Yoshi's Island. Like, it's a little bit better than Gengar, and then the rest of the stuff is just kind of
Yeah.
like filler.
Honestly, yeah, that
All I'm
top
gonna say-
5. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. All I'm gonna say is that with 3 Terra, this team does nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
Garchomp,
probably the best.
Corviknight, Rotom Heat, Weavile, and Slowbro are like all really good singles mons. Whereas all the other teams have are like mons that are okay in singles more by coincidence.
Right. Like if you rolled up with this team, like just the top 6 of this team, you could roll into an OU game and like someone might give a double take for the phalanx, and other than that, people would be like, "Oh, okay." You got a couple RU pokes,
probably
but like
more true.
completely reasonable. Yeah, this team's really good. So that's definitely going to be number one pick. All right, next up, Amoongus. So we got a
it's the
snow
best
team.
island. Let's go. We got Rotom Watch. We got the hail weather. It's insane, bro. This team's
I don't
crazy.
believe
The
so.
best ice type
I've
the
never seen
entire
Rotom
game.
Watch.
You generate Mungus, and you get Blizzard freezes every time you cook it.
You just let me go. I assume that you banned from the server.
Yeah,
If
that
you
was
didn't,
that was bad. Baxcalibur is very good. Titan is usable. Obama Snow. I mean, it's a team.
I thought Titan was great in the film Megamind.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sure that was a great reference and a great joke. I just didn't get it.
Fair enough.
Winter just tried to update it to like say like 15 million points. Anyway, I think this is a usable team. I don't think it's good. Like Rotom
I
Wash
think this
is
team
fine.
is about as good as the Rain team, just in the sense of it's got
Really?
weather users. It doesn't have hazards.
Really? This team seems so like
Daxplin is like useful. Like Rotom Wash is better, I think, than like Rotom Wash. I think is parity with Gengar, and then there's no real Baxcalibur equivalent because Pelipper is fine, but it's not as good as Baxcalibur.
but Rain itself is better. Like I think this team wins.
I mean, Snow is fine.
I think this team wins the 1-on-1 against Coolio's team against Yoshi's Island. You know, just because of type advantages and such.
Like,
but like, I don't
we're
think
talking about England. If you were to take 6 of these Pokemon to an OU game versus 6 of the Yoshi's Island's Pokemon to an OU game, I definitely feel more confident with the Felio on Island.
I mean, I don't think so, but I don't have enough singles experience this generation to tell you. Like,
I want to interrupt the conversation here, fellas, but I don't see hazards or removal on Winter's team.
Problem is, the Yoshi's Island only has toxic spikes.
Yeah. Speaking of snow, my wife just told me it's snowing again here.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Ugh.
I don't know. I thought the Titan got rapid spin.
It looks like it should.
I'm not fully sure on that. Yoshi's Island have well, yeah, I believe Pelipper does still get default. I know a bunch of Pokemon lost it, but I think Pelipper still does. I think both of these teams are very comparable. I'd be willing to put this also at 75.
Yeah. I am going to, I think the hazard weakness is just really bad. And like you're not running Boots Obama Snow.
Why not? That's what it runs in the game.
Really? Boots?
Yeah.
It doesn't run like Icy Rock or
it's run
Light Clay?
Yeah,
or...
well, more often you see Light Clay, you see Boots, you occasionally see Scarf.
Yeah. Scarf Obama. I won a title with Scarf Obama back in Gen 8. Don't try to Dynamax it when it's running Scarf though. That was a bad one. I lost that game too.
Well, it's great if you want to not run like a move of the type that you're locked into.
This is true. All right. So I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put this as 74 because I do think it wins straight up against Yoshi's Island, but like I feel like if you took this top 6 on the OU ladder and played 20 games, I think you'd lose more games than you would if you took Yoshi's Island. Okay, so did we lose Jason?
Nova's team.
Oh, we lost everybody, dude. It's me and you.
Yeah, everyone else left.
Well, Jason said he would have to leave in like 15 minutes, and he did. So
yeah.
Okay,
and,
so
the other two only said like 2 things.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. All right, so Nova's Island, Salamence is great. Grimmsnarl's fine, but then
I don't know if
this team sucks.
What?
This team sucks.
Sorry, you think this team sucks?
I mean, it's got
I was thinking this team was really solid. So Bronzong is a phenomenal mon. Grimmsnarl sees a lot of play in OU. Salamence sees some play in OU. Rotom is, like all the Rotom forms are functionally equivalent with Terra. Like Rotom is the 3rd best, but that's still very good.
Okay.
Magneton has like the ability to trap opposing seals, which is good when you have Slaking on the team. And Salamence on the team. The team is definitely synergizing, and it's got 2 really good hazard setters.
I did underestimate Glimmet. Glimmet is usable, because you can lead Glimmet with a Focus Sash, right? And and it's going to
It
get
drops and get toxic spikes up now.
yeah, exactly.
I've
So
got 105, is it? Attack? Or is it more?
I think it's like it's around there for special attack, like 105.
105, yeah. And
Yeah.
60 speed is fine. So like I'd say that this team, if you feel like you're a fundamentally good travel team, this team is probably the one that you would gravitate the most towards.
That's crazy. That's crazy because
the options. So which is to say, I think the Tours is better if you feel like you have a weak travel team, especially if you don't have spikes. Rontong's a really good rocker. This team doesn't have removal, but when you're setting up the spikes and toxic spikes, that's good. And then Salamence is a good win condition, and Rotom is both a good win condition and a good support option. And Grimmsnarl's a really solid mon this generation because of access to Final Shot.
Right. It's definitely got a much bigger
Yeah, I
boost.
think Tours is better. Like, I think this is probably like 140.
Okay,
So,
you know what? Like, I really didn't see it because I look at the slacking and I'm like, I think that's a wasted slot. But I underestimated Glimmet. Like Glimmet being unexpectedly good. Slacking being unexpectedly good.
I mean, if we look at England's team, right? You know, that go onto Phalanx. They're all fine Pokemon, but I don't think that much worse than Slaking. You can use Slaking in draft, and you have 11 Pokemon anyway, so 5 of them are staying on the bench.
Right. No, that's fair. That's fair. And like, yeah, Grimmsnarl, Magneton. Magneton's not going to be useful in most matches. I think the biggest thing, like you said, is
Magneton's pretty good.
It's good if the opponent's if the opponent has.
It's also still got 120 special attack and like good bulk.
Yeah, you could run like analytic. You don't need to try and trap steals with it. Okay.
India thing.
Right, yeah, it depends on the map.
Immense is good. That's exactly what we were saying. Magnet Pull Immense and Magnet Pull with Slaking. Plus, plenty of have teams so travel teams that synergize well with it.
Okay. Well, this is why, by the way, I stick to playing VGC. I got on the ladder on Monotype last gen, but that's about as impressive as I've ever been in singles. Like it's like not my meta.
Sword and Shield Monotype or not?
Yeah, Sword and Shield Monotype. I found a sample team that was a Hail team, Mono Ice, and I made a couple of changes and made it on the ladder. Like it was fun. Like
Monotype's a fun format that can feel very bad to lose sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially because if you're playing that decks, Mono Bug tends to suck. And that's my favorite type. So.
Oh. Well,
all
yeah.
Right, now we go down under to the beautiful land of Australia.
Okay,
which,
so
I believe the coach who replaced did not rename this island.
That's hilarious.
But I'm pretty sure Zen is not Australian.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, but maybe he visits there when he travels, you know? That's the point of an island, right? And Australia is like an island, so... unlike mine, which is the Bounce House, which is the name of UCF Stadium.
This is a really good team. I mean, this is really decent.
It's an interesting team. Bisharp,
Garganacle's really good.
Bisharp's fine. Obviously, Garganacle's good. Yeah, Halucha.
Armarouge.
Armarouge, I mean, you don't get as much benefit out of expanding force. Of course, it is 120, but like it's not like that good.
But you don't take the spread move damage.
Yeah, reduction. That's true. Bellabolt is, I've heard, usable in singles. Zoroark is fine because if you, for whatever reason, if for some reason you think you have the advantage on speed with Zoroark, all it takes is one turn of them thinking that you brought in a Garganacle. You get a nasty plot off, and like it can be very, very hard to come back from that late game.
It can be difficult, especially with how some of these teams are very, very swing in terms of how their speed tiers look. Bellybolt is also much better in singles.
Yeah, I think this team is strong. Okay, I'm beginning to see why you threw so much shade at my team earlier, because these other teams are really good. Just as it happens.
It's not that your team is bad; it's just that it lacks anything to distinguish it as particularly good.
Yeah, whereas this has
which is the same.
Yeah. Well, this has like the Great Wall of Salt, and it has some really good offensive options, and it does run.
Garganacle and Halucha are both really threatening in-game pieces because if you play 1 or 2 turns wrong against them, you can insta lose.
Mm-hmm. And Armarouge is, and indeed, like with the Indeedee help, like this team, assuming you've got any sort of of power in your travel team, like this team can really easily, I think, remove the threats that are going to stop Garganackle from just completely sweeping the rest of your team with Salt Cure. So
For sure. Also, Scatterbug is a sleeper threat. Have faith. So I would say this team is probably about 100 and maybe 150, 160.
Okay, so this is interesting
points.
because
I think it's better than Nova's. It's not crazy better than Nova's. It's definitely worse than England.
yeah, I mean, nothing's touching that. It's still so hard for me to believe that this team is. Again, me and my singles experience or lack thereof. It's so hard for me to believe that this team is somehow better than the Rain team, because, like,
Well, this wins games, and then the Rain team can close out games. But it's better to win a game than to close out a game. Like Halucha with Terrain is better than Barrascooter in Rain, I would say.
and because it's psychic terrain, if you Terra out of being a flying type, you can't even priority it.
Not just that, but you can also Terra into clicking a psychic move with Terra Blast.
This is true. You could. Oh my gosh! Imagine psychic type physical Halucha, like just taking names with, you know.
It also learns Zen, I think.
No way. Oh well, if it does, yeah. As long as you're okay with losing 10% of your games, like yeah, you're good. Okay, so
Well,
I think
we were talking about the raid team, which is a Hydro Pulse.
Oh yeah. Well,
Or
Golduck
Chill
does. Yeah, Golduck does.
Golduck does. Well, also Pelipper.
Oh yeah, that's true. No, Golduck.
The thing
New
is that,
meta.
like, if you look at the best mon on Excalio's team, the Rain team, it's Gengar. I would say the Gengar is nowhere near as good as Garganacl. The next best team is Pelipper, which I don't think Gengar and Pelipper together are as good as Garganacl. Like, you're relying so heavily on either matchup fishing a team that has no water resist to get the rain off, or you are having a solid enough team where you can enable Gengar. The team doesn't do a lot to enable Gengar itself particularly well.
Right, and if you like Terra, you probably if they played head to head, you'd probably Terra Dragon Garganacl, I think, because you
against that team,
because you could be grass, but then like they'll have ice coverage and hurricane, and then you could be water, but Arboliva kills you. So I think you'd probably Terra Dragon. And
if you even Terra Garganacl that game.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Terra Dragon, your Garganacl, and it's just never going to die. So
yeah,
okay, fair enough. So I think I think you're right.
The Golden Ones.
So you're going to say you said 150.
Oh yeah, I said this team was like 100 and 160.
160.
150, 160.
Okay, well,
like, it's
perfect.
I'm looking at the difference between, like, the two of our teams I think are very close, and then the difference between like our teams and Yoshi's team. I feel like there's more of a gap between Nova's team and Australia. Nova's Island and Australia. Than there, but I don't know if there's that.
Okay, well we can.
I feel like.
But then maybe the solution is let's drop Nova.
Right?
Yeah, it is. Okay, so then so we've got a Sun Annihilate team. Obviously, Annihilate is very good. And the rest of this team, I think, sucks in singles.
I mean, Sun is fine in the sense of, like, Rain is a functional archetype in the same way that Sun is a functional archetype. Robska's pretty good.
Robska's fine. You can set Sun with Torkoal, and then you don't have any way of
from Peanut Gallery.
If
Torkoal sucks. I was thinking this team was like competing with Felion Island and Yoshi's Island for contact.
I don't think so. I think this is the worst.
You don't think it's as good as the Rain and Hail team?
I don't think it's as good as mine.
The weathers all function basically the same, and then Annihilate, Gengar, and then like Run and Wash are all feel pretty similar slots.
Okay, so you've got Torkoal to set Sun, but then, like, how are you getting in your Scovillion? Like, what, you're just going to sack?
The same way you always do. You click self-destruct with Torkoal.
Sure. Okay, you self-destruct with Torkoal, you get in your Scovillion, and then I feel like it's not that strong. And
it's a fire move in Sun. With Chlorophyll. It is pretty strong. So what is it that makes Scovillion not that strong, but then is Golduck or Barraskewda particularly strong?
Well,
Barraskewda
Barraskewda's
which makes it well.
Yeah, but well, I mean,
Barraskewda's
Barraskewda's got.
but it's clicking a lot of base power moves, right? That's the main issue with it.
That's
that
true.
It doesn't have wave crash.
That's true. Well, Scovillain actually. Would you run physical Scovillain in draft if they didn't have
Flare Blitz or Overheat? Or Fire Blast, and it's still going to be hitting stronger than Barraskewda, just as a result
of the higher base power. Yeah, you're right. No, that's a good point.
That's the main reason Scovillain is good. You can go Solar Beam as well, which is
Solar Beam.
Obviously synergy. So I would say that the Rain team beats the Sun team in a 1v1 sort of thing, but I would say that they're pretty comparable in terms of how they will flesh out your travel team.
Yeah. I mean, you got it. You'll have a Sun component. I think this team though is going to rely a lot on. I don't know how you break like the really bulky teams with this, like unless they're both just has no answers for fire, but then it's not really good bulk.
Annihilate.
Yeah, Annihilate is you're putting a lot on an.
The dumb spot.
Okay, I mean it's got
random setup Pokemon. Oh, Toxic Spikes, which is nice. They have two good rockers.
Quillfish is very good. Quillfish is very good for disruption. Just you feel like Quillfish work? It doesn't, does it?
No.
Okay.
It'd be funny.
Yeah, it would be. Okay.
You often will set hazards in Destiny Bond.
Okay. Well, we can give it like 60 if you want. If you really think it's better.
60?
You think it's better than the Rain team?
The Rain team is at 75.
Okay, you want 70?
I was thinking 76, 74. I think it's comparable to the other two. I'm willing to concede that the other ones. I don't think they are because they don't have as good hazard options, which is the main selling point. Is that this will fit in better with a regular team, and the weather mode is going to be functionally same in terms of it gives you an out.
Okay,
then it's like, well, what do the other mods do?
Well, okay, we'll boost up the 75. We'll boost up the Rain team to 76. We'll slot this in at 75, and we'll leave the Snow team at 74 then. Because I think
we can make them all 75.
Right, but the whole point is a power ranking. You can't tie them. It's a power ranking.
But I mean, it's dealer's choice. It mostly comes down to how your travel team sits with it.
And I think. I mean, well, okay, so then the question is, I shouldn't say I think this. The question is, which one has better, more useful pieces to slot into a travel team that is designed for singles? And let's see, Annihilate's great. You're never going to have a travel team that's like, oh, no, I don't want Annihilate. Like, Annihilate's great.
Unless it was more of a ghost.
Yeah, unless, I guess. But Rabska offers utility. Quillfish offers some utility. And you have the Sun mode. Versus, that's
fine as well.
You know what? You're right because
is a lot better in single.
Like you're going to need to invest. You're going to need to invest a lot of your team in.
What Jason's saying in chat. Well, I think that the Hail isn't as good because the Hail mode is better. I think the Hail mode is the best of the three individual weather modes, but it doesn't have as good options for supporting a regular team because Torkoal and Annihilate are just good Pokemon for a singles team. I believe they're both in OU.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then Yoshi's Island has Pelipper in OU.
I did not realize that Jason was typing in chat. That's funny.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
but Torkoal's still useful. It's decent enough. Brush was a really big savior for it.
Yeah, Torkoal. I didn't realize this, but so Torkoal's going to set off.
To you. Never mind. I retract everything I said.
What did you say?
Torkoal dropped to you. Must be bad. I retract everything I said.
Har har.
No, I forgot in the same thing that Pelipper moved up to OU because it had been a UU. The previous thing was also Torkoal moving down to UU.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Rain, but I do think that Coolio's team is going to demand more. You've got to build around it, and it has less to offer in a really bad matchup for its weather. Like if you're going up against someone who eats rain for breakfast, which that's a funny visual, then Yoshi's Island's going to suck. Whereas if you're going against someone who is going to thrive in the sun, Body's Island is still good because you have other good options.
I'm just looking at some of the existing teams, and all I'm saying is that what is it? Golden Lands is incredible with Magnus's.
Okay. I'm not looking at the single team right now, but like
Magnus's flagship Pokemon is his own Torkoal.
Matt, that would be unfortunate synergy, but
That'd be an incredible synergy. One of them sets Torkoal up for the White Smoke Shell Smash Torkoal.
yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. White Smoke's Cell Chester. That's great. All right, let's move on. I put it at 80. I did put it higher because you're right. It's better as a travel team. Neon's team, Ceruledge, I think, is okay in OU. Gambit's great. Mousehold is interesting in OU. Azumarill's good. Masquerain has webs. Impidimp seems like it sucks, but it still has Prankster Parting Shot. Like it's still something.
This half OU ones, by which I mean there are 3 Pokemon with I think Mousehold is in RU now, but I don't actually.
I mean, but it's certainly usable. Like you have like Wildlands technician population bomb. Like they're still gonna have to prepare for that.
Like it was very strong in early meta, but then people started running Helmet, and it became a lot worse.
Right, and so just honestly, just even its presence is gonna force someone to run Rocky Helmet on something, and then you can exploit that. Like you bring in your Mousehold on something, they're going to switch in to your Rocky Helmet user while you get a free switch to something else, and then you know that the guy you're facing doesn't have like Choice Band or whatever because you know it's Rocky Helmet. Like, obviously Tower's team has a free Rocky Helmet and Garchomp, but other than that, like everyone's going to be.
It's information you get, but
yeah,
Azumarill, Ceruledge, and Kingambit don't like your opponent having Helmet.
I mean. No, I mean they don't like it.
I think Bitter Blade is a contact move. I don't actually know that for sure.
It might be.
Bitter Blade is a contact move.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, and Crabominable obviously doesn't like it either. You think Crabominable has any?
Ice Hat is not a contact move.
Does it have any use?
No,
I think.
Like you can run it on like a gimmicky Trick Room team, which this team has got the bones for.
Right.
I succeeded running gimmicky Trick Room in draft before. You could do it now. Blunder's probably made a video for it. Crabominable hits hard enough.
Yeah.
And it appreciates Terra because it's typing cells.
Yeah. And then I mean, Kingambit's just going to be great. Supreme Overlord's actually usable.
I'd say this team is a little better than Australia, though.
You would?
A bit worse than England. This seems quite good.
I mean, I think it's very, 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 very good. I
think it is currently looking like it's the second best team that we've seen.
I don't know if it's.
But I don't know if it's
Garganackle. Garganackle's really good, and like Garganackle.
I think it's better than the Garganackle team. If you look at the Garganackle team, that is 1 OU mod, and this says 3.
Yeah, plus webs.
Garganackle and Kingambit are both incredible Pokemon.
Yeah, plus webs. Webs is like having access to that is just so great, and Masquerain also, it's got Intimidate, like it has U-turn. You could honestly Scarf.
It's got Sticky Web.
Yeah, that's
Sticky
what I was saying. That's it, but it's got other.
I don't think I would run Scarf on a Pokemon that's 4 weak to rocks.
No, because I would say I would run it. I'd run it obviously and then like you can put Sticky Webs up turn 1 or whatever, but then you have it later as a sack and then a really quick U-turn to like gain momentum. Like I don't know, it's something.
What positioning are you using back to gain momentum?
Oh, you could run. You could use U-turn.
Your opponent is also clicking a move, so you don't really benefit that much from clicking the Scarf.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. I'm still thinking VGC more and not realizing that I'm thinking VGC. But Mousehold, I think
Scarf pivots still have their own issues in VGC as well.
This is true. No, I think this team would be very, very good. You've got priority at the wazoo. You've got multiple immunities. Like Briggraff can be a grass immunity. Ceruledge can be your fire immunity. Like, obviously Kingambit has 2 immunities. Mousehold has an immunity. Masquerain has an immunity.
The important thing is all of these Pokemon, like these top 5 Pokemon, demand respect from your opponent when they're on the field.
Yeah, or even just in the building.
Isn't top tier, but it's still good enough.
Yeah, and
your opponent has to respect it.
Yeah, and like even in whatchamacallit, in the builder, like what you're gonna have to respect the fact that your opponent could bring population bomb mousehold, and you're just going to have to deal with it. So, yeah, you're right. I think this team might be slightly better than.
I think it's 165.
Okay, 165 is fine. Yeah, that's fine. It's funny. Obviously, it's got the King Gambit versus the Bishop. Or Bishop. All right. Okay, so Meowscarada,
I just noticed that
Skeletor.
there's 1 point difference between Bishop and Gambit. That doesn't feel representative of the difference between a Night Slash and what's the signature move called?
Kowtow
Blade.
I think King Gambit was painfully undertiered.
I would not agree with that. All right,
VGC.
Swag Islands.
Swag Island.
This island is very strong. I don't know if it's good in singles, but in like the regular game, like I just made like I was in another league and I was first overall seed with basically what this island looks like.
Yeah, this is.
Pochimine, Skeletor, Meowscarada, Taurus.
I mean, I like, and then you even have Kilowattrel, you have Intimidate with Crocodile, Gardevoir for options, and Revavroom isn't even bad. Like,
I have no idea if Revavroom is good in singles.
Well, it's got Shift Gear.
It's in RU, that means it's acceptable.
It's got Shift Gear.
It's kind of okay.
And it has Filter. It has Filter, which is a phenomenal ability for it, and
does it only have one weakness?
It has two.
Fire, and ground, right?
Yeah, fire and then the double ground.
Filter not a good ability if you only have two weaknesses, or it's like a less good ability if you only have two weaknesses?
Well, because here's the thing, I would assume that 90% of the time, Revavroom would be your Terra Pokemon on this team.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, I guess. And then, I would have thought that it would be like Skeletor, because that one like wins games where Terra's.
That's true.
Or just snowballs out of control.
That's true. I mean, either way, but I think you've got
what's like a random decent fire type. I want to see how much filter that is.
Random decent fire type. Yeah, Armarouge. Go with like a bulky Armarouge, not Life Orb.
No item Armarouge does 140% to min with Armor Cannon.
And that's with filter?
That's with filter.
140?
I don't think that Revavroom's bulk is anywhere near good enough to take advantage of filter.
Well,
the problem is it would die to most of the moves that filter is relevant to if it didn't have that type. Okay. Like it's taking 95 if it's carried into a neutral type to fire. It's too frail, I think, to really take good advantage of filter. I don't know. I certainly don't think this would be your main Terra mod.
Okay.
But Meowscarada is really solid. Skeletor is phenomenal. Taurus is good. Kilowattrel's got definitely positions where it's usable in singles. Crocodile is solid. Gardevoir is really good.
Yeah.
Taurus is still really good.
Because if you're able to, if you
put these top 6 Pokemon into OU, people would think that you just randomly generated a team of decent ones.
Yeah, I think it's very usable. Gardevoir is really reasonable. I think, and again, you're relying a lot on your travel team, but I think you've got tools here. So, what are we gonna say?
You don't even have to rely on the travel team that much.
I think this is
just Hedge's weaknesses.
Yeah, I think this is
weak to opposing setup. You have Unaware Skeletor, and as well as the crit Meowscarada to ignore defensive setup. Are you concerned about opposing physical attackers? You have double Intimidate. You've got the rocks there.
Yeah,
Gardevoir is a decent breaker. A lot of these Pokemon are just decent Pokemon that can double effectively as breakers.
Honestly, looking at it, in a singles format,
almost as good as single.
This team, doesn't this team just kind of eat every single other team we've seen for breakfast?
So this team loses pretty hard to Garchomp, I would say.
No, you Terra.
Put aside the rest of the Pokemon.
You got that.
Garchomp can also Terra.
Garchomp can also Terra. I mean, this is accurate. But
I think this team is looking like the second best team. I would say this is a 180 points.
Yeah, this might be.
I think this is.
You don't have
than England.
You don't have
by a very small margin. Just none of the Pokemon are Skeletor and if you want to say Skeletor and Garchomp are comparable, which is something that I'd say is close to fair. But then dropping back to Meowscarada is not as good as Rotom-Heat or Corv. Taurus and Kruger and Gardevoir are not as good as Rotom-Heat or Corv. If you have a strong core 3 mons and you're just taking 3 mons from from England, or even if you're taking 5 Pokemon from England, it isn't until you're taking 6 Pokemon that I think that England looks worse. So if you have even 100 Pokemon on your travel team, you're probably going to prefer to have England.
I think that's fair. I think the hazards, especially, you're really relying on Crocodile for hazards here, and you're really relying on Crocodile to intimidate.
Meowscarada
And
and Skeledirge both get hazards.
Oh, what? Wait, what?
Yeah, Meowscarada is one. No, I think it was like a top 8 at a VGC tournament with Toxic Spikes to beat opposing Dondozo.
My gosh. Okay, never.
I believe Skeledirge gets rocks. I'm not 100% on that, but I believe it does.
That's cool. All right, let's look at Jace's Island because I think this is crap. Although Orthworm has shed skin. Oh, never mind. Psych, it has Palafin. Okay, never mind.
Dragon and Slap are also both pretty solid. Slowking is better than Slowbro in singles right now because it has a pivot move in reception. Orthworm is really good. It's got Shed Tail as well.
Right.
Like Orthworm, I think, is in OU.
And honestly, like, Slowking can chilly reception into Beartic, and I feel like that's decent in
you can chilly reception into any mon, it's fine, but I was thinking of was Palafin.
That too. Yeah, you get in Palafin scot free, like all it takes is a little stealth rock chip.
I'd say this is a phenomenal team.
This is really good.
It's got Rocks and Hydreigon, it's got Toxic Spikes with Salazzle, it's got more hazards as well as Rapid Spin with Code School, and then more hazards with Rocks on Orthworm, and Spikes, I believe, also on Orthworm. This is a really good team. Like, this could be 184. Like, genuinely.
All right, let's call it.
Is this 186? Like, this is right on England, I think.
I think it looks very good. Toadscroll having Rapid Spin is so nice because I don't think there are very many Pokemon that have Rapid Spin in this league, and so that's so good. And when you've got so many hazard options, that's really helpful. And Palafin itself, just Palafin in and of itself, really adds to the power of this team. And especially when you've got a slow pivot to get in. There's not a lot of slow pivots, and obviously, I think chilling reception has negative priority, right? So it's a slow.
No, it's neutral priority.
Oh, okay, but it's just Slowking super slow. So
they learned they learned from their mistakes.
Yeah, well, I mean, but Slowking is going to be really good. And the great thing is when you chilly reception out with Slowking, they don't know. Are you bringing in Palafin? I think so too. I thought I heard that. But Palafin, you don't know if they're bringing in Palafin, or you don't know if you're bringing in Beartic, which loves that snow and can exploit it and becomes actually reasonably bulky in the snow. Or are they just going with a Scarf Hydreigon and just going to wreck you? Or are they going to go Salazzle and set up some more hazards? There's a lot that you can do with this team. So, I like it.
I think that this is really, really strong team. These last 4 teams, honestly.
Oh yeah, because the last team has Skiploom, so it's going to be really good.
That's true. That was the main Pokemon I was looking at, though. The Hoppip team was okay. The Hoppip team was pretty good, right? Like the Hoppip team, but Skiploom.
Skiploom, it's an upgrade. All right, so we'll put 183. This team, obviously, Golden Go's great, Dragapult's great, Toxicroak is usable, it has niches.
Tauros is really good.
Tauros is really good. Earthring is fine.
Decent.
Bombadier's usable.
Bruxish is good.
Yeah, Bruxish is interesting. We'll say that.
This team is, I think, pretty close to maybe just a bit below Eon's team. I'd say it's between Australia and Eon Island. And this team, for context, is the Anxious Millennial Cowboy Island. And the previous one, which we didn't comment on, was Gabagool Island.
Yeah, I think this is also a very good team. I think this is, let's see, Hazard's Bombardier has Hazard. So if you need rocks,
Goldengo is also one of the best rockets.
I didn't know it got rocks. I know Bombardier does only because I actually used Stealth Rock Bombardier in my playthrough. It was great. I got a hidden ability one in a Terra raid.
Because it looks like it does not get rocks, but I could have sworn I've seen someone click it.
Yeah. I was gonna say it could have been a
Goldingo.
Zoroark, but I don't think Zoroark gets rocks either. So
Zoroark does not get rocks.
um,
I often go completely insane because I thought Skeletor had rocks. I was strong on that too.
yeah, but yes, you got
Ultimately.
hazards in case your travel team doesn't for whatever reason. Dragapult is just so incredibly powerful. Like your opponent's gonna literally lose sleep trying to prep for Dragapult and Goldingo.
Right.
So I think this
Like, both of them are top tier Pokemon in OU.
I think this is this might be the best team.
No, I don't think it is as good as Eon Island, Swag Island, Gavigal Island, or Anchorland.
Okay.
I think this is a good team. It's a very strong team. But like, he's got a top 3, and the third, like if you're bringing 3 of your Pokemon, you're like more than happy to bring Dragapult and Goldingo. It is annoying that they share weaknesses, but obviously you can tear out away from that. But then your third best Pokemon is Tauros, which, while fine, it's not like ideal. And there's like Toxicroak and Bruxish and Bombardier who are all okay, and Ursaring who's decent, and Skiploom. I've used Skiploom before in singles. I wouldn't recommend it.
No, I wouldn't either. I think Bombardier would be your desperation hazard setter. And if you don't have it, and then Toxicroak would be like, obviously you're going to bring that into the Yoshi's Island matchup, but other than that, like, I don't know.
Yeah, look, I put this in 160. I think Goldingo and Dragapult together are better than the Garganacl combo.
Yeah.
I mean, Goldingo is a phenomenal Pokemon.
Okay, I feel like we had some power creep here as we were going up. I feel, maybe this is just how it went, but I think there's a distinct increase in the number of points given as we went on.
There's just one thing that I want to change.
Yes.
From the original team selections.
Yes.
I mean, that's it.
I saw that something changed, but I didn't see what it was.
I changed both of our teams to 5.
Ouch.
We really got power crept out of the format, I think.
Wait, remember yours was better than mine, so 5 and 6. Yeah, I think that.
No, I don't.
Hey, although, okay, and then let's rank these by number of Ubers, and that's what really matters. So 1 for me.
You don't win.
0 for Yoshi.
You don't. Gothry is not an Uber.
Sorry, 2 for me.
It's an NFE Pokemon. It's in P.
It's you even exist?
You have 1 Uber, which is Cyclizar.
I have 2 Ubers. Gothorita is Ubers, isn't it?
No, Gothorita is not in Ubers. Shadow Tag is bad, but not because it's
but it's only Shadow Tag itself. Okay, never mind. So I have 1 Uber.
Shadow Tag itself.
I have 1 Uber.
Has never been in Ubers because it's never had Shadow Tag as still the ability. Why not has been in Ubers because it used to only have Shadow Tag.
Ah, perfect. Okay, so
Cacturne has also been in Ubers.
Although, okay, but for this Gothorita though, you can run Shadow Tag, which means it's in Ubers. It's like once. No, it's like if they eventually ban. Eventually, like when Bascu comes in, like they're gonna ban Last Respects and Unbound Houndstone, but that's still, if you have Last Respect Houndstone, which by
I think Last Respect Houndstone can be legal.
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't play. I played. I don't think I've played any OU.
I played an Uber gen, therefore it's representative.
Okay, well there you go. But anyway, 1 Uber for me. Even if you say Gothorita isn't, which it totally is. 1 Uber for me. None for Yoshi. None for you. None for England. None for Filioni. None for Nova. None for Australia. None for none for Golden Island, right?
Annihilate, yeah.
Annihilate did get banned?
Yes.
Okay.
It got banned at the same time Cyclizar did, actually.
Oh, cool. None for Eon. None for Swag. None for Gargi Gaboogago. And
That's
none
wrong.
for
That is incorrect.
Palafin.
One of the first Pokemon to get banned.
Oh, right, of course, Palafin. And then so that means it's a 3-way tie for first between Jace, Foddy, and me, and so that's it.
And then you're using Gothorita as a tiebreaker.
Yep, perfect. Okay. Anyway, so good job. This was enlightening and frustrating. So now we're going to switch over to the second tab.
I think the first thing that we should do is just pick every single one of these that has access to fake out. Okay, so Rivka has fake out because we looked at hazards in the previous one, right?
Right, fake out, yeah.
The second one I don't believe has fake out, which is Isle Delfino. I don't.
Yeah.
Jim Hades has Harry.
Delfino. It's Delfino. It's a pun on Super Mario Sunshine.
Why is it OU? Isle Delfino OU.
Yeah,
Right. Okay.
Although they didn't get
Rift.
Palafin. Summoner's Rift.
Does not have fake out.
Ampharos Atoll.
Matt's team has Tinkaton.
Tinkaton has fake out. Tinkaton's very usable.
They have better nicknames than we do.
Yeah, maybe.
Slazzle
is going to be good. Palmot's good.
Fire doesn't get fake out, right?
No, it doesn't. So no.
Does his team have fake out?
Morgrim has fake out technically.
Iron Hands.
Iron Hands definitely has fake out.
I don't.
No fake out. No fake out for Hallow. No fake out for the Arcane Atoll, and
no fake out for agents for the Isle of Bandit.
No. They got plenty of. They got a few priority pokes, but no. Nothing there. All right,
so Sucker Punch Chi, my favorite priority user.
All right, well, it's definitely the best way to use Chi-Yu is Bandit. All right, so
a great stash for your bottom 8.
Perfect. All right, so this one, Dondozo. So you got Solo Dondozo, which sucks. It's not horrible.
No, Solo Dondozo does not suck. Solo Dondozo is not a top tier. Solo Dondozo is still decent.
Noivern's okay. Screamtail.
I saw someone run Best Sleep Talk Dondozo with only Liquidation, and it beat 3 Pokemon by itself with no fancy gear.
It's definitely a mood. Wo-Chien probably is fine.
Wo-Chien? 10 more Chilean damage? Iron Treads is pretty good. Screamtail is really good. You don't
have any support to make Screamtail good. Like, how you're not going to get Perish Trap. There's no trap first.
Okay, but that's not the reason that Screamtail is good. There's one team that's succeeded with Perish Trap, but plenty of Screamtails have been doing well. Predominantly, it's been sitting dual screens or using Encore Disable.
That's true. Encore Disable
at
that speed tier, Encore Disable is cracked. Noivern is great. So you've got fast special damage.
Support, and Iron Tread's is a good abuser.
Yeah, I think
amazing support mon. Screamtail's an amazing support mon. Noivern's an amazing support mon. Crocodile is an okay support mon. Jolteon is good.
You don't have prankster speed. You don't have prankster. That's I think the main thing missing.
I'm gonna say, I think this team is probably if you put this next to all of the island teams for the actual VGC league, is probably in the top 5.
It's really good. You're missing. Yeah, I think the main thing, you're relying a lot on Noivern for speed control. You don't have a Trick Room. Screamtail get Trick Room? It should, right? I don't know.
Screamtail does get Trick Room. Yeah.
It does. Okay, so you do it. So you have dual speed. That helps a lot.
They also have 2 bulldozers.
Yeah, and you got Iron Treads, which is very bulky. Hariyama is very bulky. And Jolteon gives you you've got the whole range. The speed tiers here are actually really good. And then Wo-Chien, I don't know how good it would be in doubles, but it's something. And
it wasn't particularly good in the a super pre-series 1 meta, but it's still it's probably okay in drop because its ability reduces, I think, the attack stat of all opposing or all surrounding Pokemon. So if you have it next to a special attacker, it's like having extra screens on top of the screen you already have with your Screamtail.
Yeah, exactly. Screamtail, more like Screamtail. Sorry. Yeah, exactly. Or Jolteon gets Light Screen.
They also get Calm Mind.
Yeah, and so, and I think again, Noivern in and of itself is just really, really powerful. I wish you had a ghost to pair it with so that you could just pull off those boom bursts. But AV Iron Treads, for instance, you can do Boomquake, and AV Iron Treads isn't going to take anything from that. So, you got a lot of stuff you can do here. So I'm going to give this 140 points
out of 200.
There's no out of. This could end up being out of 1,000. So
last one we stayed below 200.
Okay.
The game wasn't perfect.
I'm gonna say
It's pretty close.
140. That you really are missing the fake out and prankster, but other
So
than that,
Hariyama.
oh sorry, you do no. Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. I'll
Yeah,
up
it's
it to
185.
155.
I
Okay,
don't know. I've looked at this team and I'm like, this seems similar enough to what Swerve's team is for singles.
okay. We'll start at
180,
185. We'll start at 185.
Okay, yeah.
I think okay. This is
This is
fine.
the worst Garchomp team I've ever seen.
This is so there's you don't really have any like synergy. Like
I mean, it's got
this is a
Pelipper and
team that's
Iron
like
Jugulis, which are like weird bonds put next to Garchomp.
when I'm looking
Iron
at
Jugulis
this.
is fine.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure in singles it's great, but like
No, it's really bad in singles. It's good in VGC. Like it's fine in VGC.
No,
like
no.
Tier 2 mod in VGC. Iron Jugulis.
No. But like this team, I'm talking about this team. Like I'm sure this team's synergy is great in singles, but like in VGC, I would look at this team and be like, okay, make sure I have an answer for Floatzel in the rain, and then just win.
Really? You don't think Garchomp is at all threatening?
I mean, it's not non-threatening, but like again, I mean, Garchomp itself in VGC.
It's also got Serena as a fake out answer, which is intimidating.
That's true. Your speed
Challenge
control,
really, really strong.
your speed control.
Iron Jugulis is really good.
Yeah.
Like Iron Jugulis is a solid mon, given that it's like the fifth good mon of the team. Skeledirge has been really good as well.
Yeah,
I don't really. I think that you could take the rain off this team, and it wouldn't change that. I think that this is a decent team.
Yeah.
The rain is like not. I don't really like. Rain is okay, right? But it's always going to be susceptible to opposing disruption in a way that a lot of these other Pokemon are really solid on. So
that's
I
true.
don't think that the rain is.
Oh, that's you're right, because like the things that you would bring to counter rain, like Skeledirge enjoys going up against, Jugulis enjoys going up against. I think, like
Jugulis is mostly a rain confuser because he equips Hurricane.
God, oh my gosh, I wasn't even thinking about that. But yeah,
Snarl and Hurricane are like the main things it does.
I mean, I obviously don't have much experience playing with it. I don't play in any Series 2 draft leagues, and I barely play on ladder. So, team looks pretty good.
I don't do either of those things. I just be a phrase.
All right, I'm gonna throw it at 120.
Yeah, I'm down 120.
Okay.
Struggle with decent things.
Okay, so Gyarados is good. Goodra is okay in draft league.
Great Tusk is really, really good.
Great Tusk obviously is great. Tyranitar is very good. Miss Magius, I think, is underrated. Even Espeon's decent.
Underrated relative to what?
Like, it's not that much worse than like a Fluttermane that is much.
It's not that much worse than Fluttermane?
It's not that much worse than Fluttermane. I mean, it's worse.
Define that much. It's not 5 points. I think it's better than 5 points, but
yeah, exactly.
I think it's definitely it doesn't have Moonblast, right?
No, it gets. I'm sure it has Gleam. I don't think it has Moonblast.
Yeah, but Gleam is crap. Gleam is a spread move, and it's also not got funny spectacular.
Yeah,
Miss Magius is more phys def than
yeah, because it's that's right. So, I mean,
60 instead of 55.
That's hilarious.
It's absurdly slower and not linear strong. It's still fine.
Yeah, Goodra and Umbreon are just
really good.
really good defensive pieces, and you've got Gyarados, like Intimidate for physical stuff.
This is like my team. You've got the Umbreon, the Espeon, the Gyarados.
I think this is going to be, I think, a team that you really are. It's really going to depend on what you've got on your travel team. I think you could probably throw together a decent.
I reckon you could do okay with this team. I reckon this is like 110. Yeah, this is over 100.
Okay, I'll buy that, like, because it's got a lot of good pieces, and if you had the right stuff on your team, like for instance, with my team, if you can give a Prankster Tailwind next to Great Tusk, I think you're gonna be cooking with gas.
Yeah, Great Tusk is T-Flame Tusk has been as dominant as it is for a good reason.
Right. So, but if you're
Flame,
huh?
I don't know you're Murkrow, right?
I have Murkrow. So, which floats.
I was trying to remember who's
All
right.
So, I mean, and then you've got Gyarados also, which floats and just loves just floating over those earthquakes. So, I mean, it's a really good team. Okay, Annihilate. Do any of these guys get beat up? Does Mavistiff get beat up? It could, because it's dark.
I believe it does. Tinkaton does.
Tinkaton does?
I'm sure it does.
Because Beat Up's distribution got nerfed really hard this gen.
Yeah, but Beat Up's distribution is mostly just random Gen 9 mods.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, no, it's not Tinkaton I was thinking of. It was Faradraft. Faradraft is the Gen 9 mod that randomly gets it.
Yeah. Does Mabistiff get it?
Practically no.
Okay, so
the only dark types that get it are Weavile, Houndour, Sneasel, and Houndoom.
So this is the sort of team that if you
gets it though.
If you showed up on ladder with a team made of 6 of these guys, people would be like, did you just pick Pokemon that are good without thinking about what you need next to them? Like, you got Armarouge with no terrain, you got Tinkaton, but I don't think it really fills a role other than being a fake out bot here. Blissey for no apparent reason.
This team doesn't mind Gigaton hammers, right?
Right,
because
no.
Garganacl punishes the mons that resist Gigaton pretty well.
Many of them, yes.
It hits fire types with rock moves, and it hits steel and water types with Salt Cure for 5% per turn.
Right.
Kilowattrel's really good, but weird with the best of user being Armarouge.
Yeah, because Gastrodon and Garganacl aren't going to move first, even under Tailwind.
So they can if you invest in it, which is a big commitment.
But
we've seen Zoom Amoonguss and Zoom Snorlax work before, and both
true.
Those Pokemon are slower than these two.
That's true.
But if your opponent has something that is comparably fast to Kilowattrel, then you're not going to be able to get past it.
Yeah. I think this is...
And Annihilate is just a bit slow for,
in
terms of its damage output, because it relies on Rage Fist so much.
Yeah, I think the fact that you don't have anything to really proc Rage Fist hurts. There's not a lot of support options here on this team, other than Tinkaton. Tinkaton is being required to...
Terragog and Quick Earthquake.
Yeah.
That seems like the best, which is not great. But if you can with your travel team, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I think this is a usable
I don't know.
team.
I've never really seen people using Beat Up into Annihilate, but it actually working in draft, whereas I've seen Annihilate do plenty of work without that.
Oh.
Just let your opponent knock it for you.
Yeah, I mean, you can absolutely do that. And
Beat Up is just cheese. I remember someone brought it against me in this league, and then I hit the Annihilate, and then it died to the Beat Up.
That's fun. No, I mean, it's definitely usable.
I'd say 115. I think this is...
You think this is better than the Great Tusk?
If you have a good core, good bones, these first 3 teams, not GM Packers, but Isle, Defino, OU, Summoner's Rift, and Ampharos Atoll, are all teams that I could see someone picking.
Yeah.
So someone would have to be okay, well, how does this look with my travel team? Because they all have decent
right. It depends a lot. I think in my team in particular, I would absolutely want Rivka's team or the Summoner's Rift. I see Great Tusk, and I think with my Murkrow, this is great. Yeah. Tyranitar, Gyarados next to Pachirisu. Gyarados next to Pachirisu quite famously won a world title, so...
Indeed, that was Mega Gyarados.
Yeah, but it started as a Gyarados, so
it started as a Magic Knife, I think.
Who knows? Possibly. So then, okay, so... Right, so you got some Pokemon here that are not super usable.
Which Pokemon's not super usable?
On this next team, Veluza and Heracross, I don't think are very good.
Heracross is phenomenal in draft.
Nah.
No, I just was in a Series 1 league. Heracross was the kill leader across all of the divisions.
No way.
Yeah. It got 18 kills in a 6-week season.
Bruh.
7-week season? 7-week season.
That's crazy.
No, Heracross is really, really strong with Terra.
Oh, yeah, of course. Because you can... Yeah, okay. Brambleghast is...
thing, the really swingy turn one is if you turn Terra normal for Facade being stabbed. Mm-hmm. But you can also just Terra to avoid its weaknesses, right? It's
the flying
it's got really
weakness.
Good synergy with Terra Steel.
Yeah. So as long as they don't have fire. So Dragonite obviously is very, very good. Haluchi, you don't really have anything to proc it instantly. But
you can Acrojet it with Veluza and get an Absorb Bolt for +1 special attack.
No, but
Or with Dragonite. Dragonite also gets it.
I mean, or you could like
Is Absorb Bulb in the format?
Absorbable is, but you would use Luminous Moss because then you can actually use that. Because that's
Luminous Moth by plus one special event. Okay.
I think it's special defense. Yeah.
Sorry, I only really know Absorb Bulb and Snowball. Is there one
Right.
for Fizdef?
I don't believe so. Wait, no. There's the cell battery, but I don't know what that boosts.
Battery, I think, is special defense as well. No, it's attack. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, totally makes sense. Batteries make you attack more. Anyway, Tinglu is probably okay in VGC.
Tinglu is really good. Tinglu, Jianbao, and Jiu all phenomenal in the like pre-Series 1 format.
Yeah, I mean it lowers what physical attack? No, special attack, right?
Special attack.
Yeah. So
it's like having Snarl preemptively on your opponents.
Does it itself get Snarl? It should, right? It's a dark
type. I have no idea, but it's got a very high attack stat. And it's a ground type and dark type. And it's got stab for those moves. There's also Illumination, which is
bro. Like you can just run Earthquakes on this. You got 3 ground immunities.
Yeah, I mean it's even got an upside with Orthworm, right?
Yeah.
And not only that, but you have 4 good physical attackers in the top section, right? And you're stopping your opponent from clicking special attacks effectively. So you don't really suffer the downside of it.
It is really interesting that this team was just like special attack, special attack. Every Pokemon on this team except for one is primarily a physical attacker. Your special attacks are coming from Salazzle.
You see, I also play around Intimidate by using Iron Defense while you press.
This is workable. But yeah, and Salazzle also is really good.
If you're like my team, right, which is Espeon, Sylveon, Vaporeon.
Oh, you'd love this.
And you pick this team up.
Oh, you'd love this.
You just don't have Tinglu in with them, and then you're really good.
Yeah, no, you would love this. Really my team, on the other hand, which is Murkrow, Pachirisu, and like Basculin, like my team would not have great synergy with this because everyone would just load up on physical defense and be like, I don't even need to worry about special defense as long as I have something with like Mud Slap to Oko your Salazzle.
You could run special Basculin, and that's about it.
Yeah, a special Basculin is not abominable.
I did live a Mud Slap with Salazzle once without Terra.
Well, there you go.
I don't know why they clipped it.
That would be, I think, that'd be fun. Anyway,
I think this team is like 119 or something. I don't think it's as good as Aldefino U.
No, but I think this is useful. I think would, and if you happen to be like, if you happen to have like something that can proc Hawlucha, like if you happen to be lucky enough to have like Pincurchin randomly on your team.
You know what I just remembered?
What?
You can Terra the Hawlucha and then get a weakness policy off of Aquajet. And they can't fake out the Dragonite because it's got inner focus. You can be Colossal, but Hawlucha.
Okay. Yes, you could. Although, you know.
Got Rock Slide.
Yes. Good.
That's a win condition.
I will say this. Have fun. Because Hawlucha is not known for its physical defense, and even uninvested Aquajet from Dragonite is
it's only 134 base attack. Surely it won't do that
much. Do you remember the gimmick to stop Colossal? The gimmick strategy of leading Liepard and Thundurus into Urshifu Colossal, and then you rain dance with Thundurus or with Tornadus, and you Screech with Liepard, and then Aquajet Okos their own Colossal as Dynamax.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty funny.
It was a beautiful strategy. Anyway, that's what that reminds me. Anyway, okay, so Goldango, Mouscarada, Pawmot, Haldia Blaze, Toadscroll, like, did Schnarfy know that he was building for OU? The Paradise Island? Like, does he know he's building for OU?
No,
like,
it's not. It's intentionally not got the E, so it can be Paradise.
Like, like this is
that's not a joke I made. That's a joke that was the joke that informed this island name.
Like Sableye, Mouscarada, Goldango, Pawmot, Like you got double fake out, you got
Okay.
redirection, you got spore, Quagsire.
Difficult
Quagsire's
thing.
fine.
This is like 150, right?
This team?
Not 170, maybe.
This might be the best. I don't know. I'd have to
It
think
might be
about
the
it.
best. I don't know.
'Cause,
It
like-
doesn't have like screen. I don't know. It is really good.
It doesn't have speed control, and that's the only thing. I think I might take this.
Bulldoze, Quagsire,
I might.
and Tauros. Tauros also has it.
I
That's
might
about it.
take.
I don't think Palmer gets Electrolab.
No. Yeah, Tauros like with bulldoze,
I
but
guess you have Sableye speed control with both Thunderwave and Quash.
Thunderwave, Quash, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I
This
would
seems
take
okay.
this.
This team is definitely competing with the GM Power Haters
Yeah.
Incorporated.
I think I would take this with my first pick. I haven't looked at the bottom ones yet, but I think if I had first pick with my Murkrow and Pachirisu, I think I would take this first because the only thing this team is missing is speed control. And you
I
got
would take Pokemon Island, but that's mostly because I think it'd be fun to use.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I mean, this is magnificent. It is missing speed control bad, but it's also really fast. It's super powerful. Goldango, Masquerade. You can't just plan around one side like you can with Pokemon Island. You know, where it's all
I think
physical.
this is 180. Well, you shouldn't be able to with my 3 Pokemon being all friendly up special attack. It's more difficult process there.
Yeah, well, your sure, but like in general, like, and no one's going to be upset to have Toadscroll on their team. Like Toadscroll's
For some
great.
reason, singles teams are much better at being VGC teams than VGC teams are at being singles teams.
Definitely, and that's weird. Yeah.
I think it speaks to how the type of stuff that you have to cover for VGC requires you to take a lot more like niche sort of mons. Whereas with singles, a lot of the stuff that you want can be covered by Pokemon that are otherwise good.
Yeah. That could be it. Because
I think Rage Powder is like one of the big things there. Like we have a bunch of Rage Powder mons that are absolutely terrible in singles, but are good in VGC because they have Rage Powder. That's to some extent true with Fake Out as well.
Yeah. And it just so happens that those Pokemon like the like Volcarona, which I see here, or Toadscroll, have niches for other reasons. This next one, I think 180 is fine. Like it's really good. It's really good. It might be. Noivern.
I think this team would also compete with actual VGC and singles teams.
Absolutely. I would be upset playing against this team in a normal week, and I would be delighted to have it on my team. And the other one, the same thing is true for the Champao haters, but but that would be more because this team has 3 Pokemon on it. The Champao haters has 3 Pokemon on it that are too good for Series 2 or for Series 1, and so it's like.
I mean, I don't know if Wojian is too good for Series 1. I think Irontress and Screamtail both are really good in Series 1 if they were just like added context.
All right, so let's look at Papa's Island. Papa's Island. We've been on this video for way too long.
Really good in VGC. Glamoura's really good in VGC. Kingamit's really good in VGC. Flamigo is okay in VGC. Grafaiai is conditionally very good in VGC. Arboliver is conditionally very good in VGC. Actors is pretty decent in draw.
It's fine.
And Lucario is okay in draw.
Lucario is fine.
This doesn't have Fake Out or much utility beyond its bathroom.
This doesn't. This is a good stuff team. Yeah, you better have a really clear plan with your travel team because.
Like, this is good with your team because yours is mostly support.
Yeah.
But it's really bad for people who have, like, an actual core through their travel team.
Yes. Yeah, you would. This would be. That's, I think, is our worst team so far. And that's saying something is Kingambit is great.
Worst.
I think it is.
Yeah, I guess. I think this team is still possible. Like,
yeah, it's still fine.
Like 95.
Yeah. I'll put that. It's almost 11 o'clock here. I don't know where it is, how it is where you are, but like sleep is necessary. PM. Oh, is Jace right? No, Jace gave up. Oh my gosh, Jace gave up an hour ago almost. Okay, so let's blitz through these. Okay, Popoon, Penn Island, Slitherwing.
That's not what it's called. Look at the island name.
Yes, I know. It's Penn Island.
Okay, so you didn't know it was Schnarvies.
Anyway. We got Dragapult, Cyclizar, Slitherwing.
We have the Slitherwing Iron Moth core, which is the only good core in the history of VGC. because they're the same Pokemon. But there's no Volcarona, so that's a 0 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I know, seriously. Dawn
Cyclops
fan,
a really good launch.
jump left. Oh man, so this guy throws in jump left for 9 points and thinks, oh, you
And
know,
Volgrim is down
whatever, you know, and then all of a sudden that's like going to be the
there.
core.
Eel core. They have Disquake.
They have Disquake.
Dawn
Fan
Disquake
Electrics.
core. Oh my god, it's broken.
This is fun. Cyclozar's
This team is really fun
right.
enough.
Dragapult's going to be very good. Slitherwing's usable. Iron Moth is
Like it's got Jump Off, which is Rage Powder and Fast Tailwind. It's got
Yeah.
Morgrim, which is Fake Out and Dual Screens, and a bunch of other prankster crap.
Yeah, Parting Shot.
Dragapult's really strong, as well as being able to ignore opposing screens. Cyclozar is good support as well as good damage. Like
This
Slitherwing
is
and Iron
this
Moth
is
are
a
both-
good team. It's definitely better than Papa's Island. I don't know if it's better than.
I think this is over 150. I don't think
Really?
it's as good as the other two teams, but like
You think it's significantly
this
better
is a
than?
team that
Yeah, you're right.
This is a team that is like competing for sixth, for like the sixth team that gets taken with the VGC Island.
I'm gonna pop it
Whereas
up.
the other teams are competing with like top three.
I'm gonna pop it up
I
in
think this is like 140, 150.
140. Yeah. Okay. Next up, Shenpao. I have no idea how good this is going to be in.
Shenpao is so do
In
you know
VGC.
how like their abilities drop, like the ones
Yeah.
that drop their attacking stats were okay.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out the ones that drop their defensive stats are very good. Shenpao Iron Hands.
Mm-hmm.
They've been coaching as well. Oh my god. Bro.
Oh, okay. So you have Pinkirch and Iron Hands. That's an interesting combination.
And
Tatsugiri's
Robska.
not.
Oh my god.
Tatsugiri's not useless.
They genuinely have Robska, Tatsugiri, and Iron Hands. It's just half of a team that you'd see in like the top 8 of the tournament.
They've got Driftblend as
Unfortunately,
well.
it's missing a couple very important Pokemon, such as Dondozo.
You've got redirection with Volcarona. Yeah, imagine if he had Dondozo instead of like I don't know the Driftblend or whatever. Like
Well, Dondozo went round 1, right?
yeah, it was actually that was the first pick overall, which is crazy. Wait, Dondozo?
No, I don't think it was actually first pick
Oh,
overall.
sorry, no,
I'm
it was
sure this was
right,
backwards.
backwards, right?
But
so that's funny,
Chi was first pick overall.
'cause-
But, you know, it like you got Qianpao, which is I think
Yeah, it's what's funny
good.
is that Donzozo was taken in the exact same spot of the draft in both leagues. The last first pick for both
I'll
was-
blame him.
was Dondozo. Anyway,
Um,
Volcarona, Rabska, Tatsugiri, Iron Hands. Yeah, this is really
Drifloon's really good as well.
this is
Drifloon's
scary.
I think Pikachu is not a good mon, but Pikachu is the worst terrain setup for Drifloon. But Drifloon gets Trick Room now, so it's okay.
Yeah, you know that Unburdened Trick Room is going to be great. Nah, but Imprison actually.
I was thinking you'd just run like Flanders.
I had a buddy who was playing a draft league game again, and the other guy had it was a little cup. The other guy had not Driftblim, Drifloon, and my buddy my buddy was doing so well one game one handedly. Then game two they brought out Driftbloom with Imprison, Trick Room, Shadow Ball, and it just like completely shut him down.
Against someone last gen in like the first round of playoffs in the league. They had a Duswa, which had been like going absolutely crazy. This was a low tier, but like low tier VGC, but low tier in the sense of my best Pokemon was the Thunderous Eye, so not that low tier. So I had a Pumpkaboo with Imprison, Trick Room. It was Imprison, Trick Room, Shadow Sneak, and Poltergeist, and they had run Shadow Sneak and Poltergeist. And Trick Room on them on. So all they had was Helping Hands.
That's so sad. Imprison is so great when it goes
you love
off.
seeing the NFTs do like some nonsense.
Yeah. So anyway, this team I think has a lot of really, really good. I mean, just Volcarona, Qianpao in and of itself, like is gonna chunk somebody. I'm pretty sure Chungpao gets Icy Wind, right? So like I know it's I know it's special attack stat like 12. But
it's
like
probably the best legal Icy Window in the format, right? Because Fluttermane and Iron Bundle, I think, are both banned.
Oh right, yeah. So yeah, I mean it's great.
Sorry, fastest, not best.
Yeah.
Fastest.
But Volcarona is spectacular, obviously in draft. Rapska's fine. It's got Trick Room, so you've got two viable Trick Room setters. One of them can actually even take a hit.
Concern is that, so Qianpao is amazing, but only if your partner Pokemon is a physical attacker. This team has a lot of really good special attackers, and an Iron Hand is maybe a bit slow, where your opponent is going to take better advantage of Iron Hand's
Yeah.
defense, and Iron Hands is going to take it theirs.
But I think, I mean, you've also got the joy of having a travel team with it. So, if you're one of those guys who's got like a Garchomp or something on your travel team, not that I don't think Garchomp was legal.
Do you feel like you feel good enough with the Bastion?
I think I might run like Basculin, Shampoo. Yeah, like Scarf, Wave Crash, Rockhead.
Yeah, or Terra Rockhead Smash with adaptability is really strong.
Exactly, or Rock, or even Rockhead. And then I think you'd have Clear Amulet Chimpao, because in that case you would run Clear Amulet Chimpao because you've got
I mean, you might still run Sash.
Or Sash, and honestly, you could even run like I don't know, Covert Cloak or something if you're worried about fake outs into it, and then you Icy Wind to slow him down, and then Basculin could be banned instead, and then just absolutely demolish things. So
Sizzle's really good on Excalibur's team. Like, my team wouldn't appreciate it. Like the Arcanine, could from Twas. Mimikyu really could on Winter's team as well.
I think this is
Colossal. I don't think you could really proc Colossal that effectively.
Okay.
This team is very very travel team dependent, but it's very strong. I think this is like 175. I do not think it's as good as the other two teams.
I think
I really don't. I really don't.
But okay, I
mean, its flagship mons are good, but I don't think the synergy is there.
Yeah.
And like, look at the speed gap.
I don't know. I think Chimpao is gonna
Chimpao to Volcarona to then it's Drifloon and Tatsugiri. Like 135 to 100 is a really, really yikesy speed gap.
Fair. That's fair. I think Iron Hands.
Also, I don't.
I think Iron Hands helps it a lot. But sorry, you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, we'll call.
I think it's good. I just don't think it's quite as good.
Okay, we'll call it there.
It's competitive. It's definitely competitive.
Okay, we'll call it there. I think I could conceive of this being someone's first choice very easily, depending on what they had.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, next up, Pendulum.
Whereas I think the other two could be first choice with like a neutral thing.
Yeah. So
Pendulum the Island Medeon remix.
Iron Valiant is not great. Baxcalibur is obviously very good. Toxtricity. I'm biased, but because Toxtricity just.
I mean, Talonflame Baxcalibur is insane.
Toxtricity basically just 4-0'd me in 2 games this week, so no comment on that.
You just Terra goes to Talonflame and click Tailwind, and then it doesn't die.
It's beautiful, and then you
Fortress is okay. Fortress is a mon you have to respect in some matchups.
Yeah, and then Zoroark makes things interesting. Basculin is interesting. I think this is fine.
I think it's like a 165.
I was not going to put it that high. I was going to put it more like 130. I don't think it's that much better than the teams that are in the 110 to 120
This
range.
Is better than Papoon's team. No, it's not. It's really not.
No, it's not.
I just think Talonflame is one of the best mons in the format.
Yeah, I mean, so this is if you're running in this, you've got talent. You're definitely taking Talonflame. You're definitely taking Baxcalibur. You're probably taking Iron Valiant because you might as well. But then you're like,
Iron Valiant's okay. It's
and then
not as good as some of the other Pokemon.
I will say this: you do have a lot of Pokemon that are going to be good in certain very specific matchups. But yeah, that's it. All right, so let's move on. I gotta get to sleep, man. It's a Thursday night. All right.
Arcane Atoll under Magnus.
So we got Roaring Moon,
which is fine. Really good. What the hell?
Cinderace is fascinating. Crazy. Obviously, it's not legal, so
Roaring Moon plus Cinderace is really strong. Roaring Moon's main niche is that it's a super fast Tailwind setter with booster energy, and then you can also Terra Flying with Stab Acrobatics.
This is true.
It's really strong.
Or, I mean, you could.
And Sandy Shocks is really good as well. Like Sandy Shocks and Roaring Moon are both like those not tier 0 mons, but they're pretty close to the edge of that.
I feel like check this for me. I feel like Poltergeist gets beat up.
You mean someone beats up Poltergeist? That's I think the interaction you're thinking of.
No, Primate beat up Ronda Primate.
Primate gets beat up.
Huh?
Primate gets beat up, and Primate can beat up into Poltergeist.
Oh,
Poltergeist is not low and beat up.
Okay, so nothing can beat up Primate.
No, but Primate can beat up Poltergeist to give
It's
it,
hilarious.
rattled and weakness policy and sword power.
Not Rattled. You're weak armor.
Weak armor. You're right.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm used to using worse Pokemon,
No, you're fine.
like the Dunsparce. I recently built the Dunsparce thing,
Oh.
so I'm like, okay, get
Oh,
rattled.
you know what else you can do? You can Cinderace U-turn into Terra Psychic Poltergeist, and
Okay.
then
You
you've
also
got
have Roaring Moon and not have Stab.
yeah. No, yeah. I mean, you definitely want to be Blaze for that, because yeah, that's gonna chunk the old Poltergeist a little bit. But you got Bronzong, which is Bronzong's great. Sandy Shocks is great.
This is just like Appleton is amazing with Terra. Like Appleton is, I think you could genuinely see Appleton perform at an event once, but he is incredible in draft.
Yeah.
Whenever I've
Appleton.
supported with a mock against someone where I've had Appleton, I've used it and it's done amazingly.
Yeah, Appleton's really good. So I think this team is very, very, very usable. This would be a nightmare to have to prep against. I think this is definitely in the top half.
The lack of fake out means that your travel team really wants to have fake out because it doesn't even have like the Serena as kind of like the middle ground.
Yeah, it's the best thing it has is that you can't fake out Poltergeist, but other than that, it doesn't even have like an inner focus or anything like.
Yeah, I'd say this. It does. It is Primate.
Wait, Primeape gets inner focus?
Yeah. No, it doesn't. I'm sorry.
No, it's Anger Point and Defiant, and then Vital Spirit.
Vital Spirit.
Why do I know this off the top of my head? Why do I know this off the top of my head? What?
Sorry, Annihilate does get inner focus, but it does not get Anger Point. Primate gets Anger Point, but not inner focus. Because the Ghost type needed inner focus.
Why do I randomly know all three of Primeape's abilities? Please help me.
Because it's broken. So what? This one's like what? The team's like 135.
I think this is. I think the big question is, is this better than Pen? And
I was asking more. Is it better than Pendulum, the Island, with the Remix? I don't think it's as good as Pen Island.
You don't think
it doesn't have fake out?
It doesn't have redirection.
It's okay, but it's not also.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'll put 135. I think that's fine. I think it's better than the other ones. I think so. That means it's top 6 for sure. Because no matter how good this one is,
I'll Defino you.
Why you think it's
honestly? These teams have all seemed really good.
So they really have.
Papa's Island, which someone if that had been someone's like island team in our league, I would have been like, it's not a great island team, but it's got a lot of new Pokemon. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean it's really
like I wouldn't be shocked if they.
Yeah. Yeah, none of these teams are bad, which is ridiculous. But okay.
Okay, and then we get to the Chi-Yu team. Chi-Yu is insane. This team doesn't really abuse Chi-Yu well for these. Oh my god, the mouse hole broken. It's got so many good mouse hole
Chi-Yu
as well.
Listen, you don't. people always joke about Chi-Yu overheat, but if you got
and then next plot with Rotom next to mouse hold, and then switch the mouse hold into Chi-Yu, the Rotom will kill both of their Pokemon and your own Chi-Yu with Discharge.
That's just why.
This is not a recommendation.
Yeah, you could honestly just Specs Flamethrower from Chi-Yu next to Mouse Hold.
If you put Surf with Quaquaval, you get the weakness policy and Anger Point on 4.
Or you can Aqua Jet with Quaquaval into Ceruledge and Weak Armor. And just destroy
everything. Because it breaks their sashes, and you're clicking Rock Slide anyways. Ceruledge, where you're only targeting one slot down.
Although you're healing with Ceruledge.
That's true, but you're still only hitting one of their Pokemon.
This is true. They do get a chance. Hit. Yeah, but I mean, and then you got options here. Spidops you will probably never bring.
Dynamax meta, that'd be really strong, but
thank God.
You can't really afford the one free hit.
Thank God we did not get Ceruledge and Armarouge during the Dynamax meta. Oh my gosh.
I mean, Armarouge wouldn't have benefited that much. Ceruledge definitely.
I mean, anyway, Chi-Yu and
is just gonna. This team is just okay. I think this team is maybe 125.
No way. You've got powerful, frail attackers, but you.
I thought you said it was worse than Aldefino.
No.
I mean,
No.
it doesn't have fake out. It's got redirection, which is
It's
good.
got
and it's got,
reliable
powerful mods.
redirection. It's got I'm sure Sarah Ledge gets trick. It doesn't have speed control. Oh,
Sarah Ledge does not have trick room.
no way.
Okay. Yeah.
So
This
yeah,
is
so you have
speed control
no
with
speed
Spider
control.
Flicking Sticky Web, and Cloth being Cloth and Sarah Ledge being activated.
Yeah, and I mean Aqua Step and
It's got
whatever,
what?
but like
Tiny up mouse hold. Like it doesn't even have bulldoze, and it doesn't have a mon that you can discharge next to with Rotom without tearing. And I think it's a Titan is the only earthquake mon.
Yeah,
I think
the synergy here is less than ideal. But on the other hand, you better have something for Specs Flamethrower or Specs Dark Pulse Chi-Yu, because it will get those attacks off because you've got Mouse Hold next to it. And
I think this team is pretty firmly between Aldefino U and Pendulum the Island and the Dion remix.
I'll drink to that. We'll call it 125. All right. So those are
our teams are so much worse than the singles players teams.
I would agree with that. I think that's accurate. I think that is an accurate representation. I'm gonna zoom out just slightly so I can screenshot and post these in. So we're gonna put those in the power rankings.
I would take the Island Bandit myself, just because Chi-Yu is really good with Sylveon.
Yeah.
And Espeon.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely taking the Paradise Island, because I appreciate. I need fake out. I need.
Seems also really good.
I need, and then just being able to be like, I'm gonna Tailwind and Gold. I'm gonna Tailwind with Murkrow, and I'm gonna Goldango your face off. I think would be fun.
I should definitely not get the team with no fake out.
Yeah. But I think let's see, what are our top 6 here? It would be Chimpao Haters, Paradise Island, Lost, then Pen Island, Pendulum, Pen Island, Arcane Atoll, and Pendulum. I think those are all reasonable. I think you could. I don't think anyone would laugh if someone took one of the other teams, like the Pelipper team or the Bandit. I think there are a lot of reasonable choices here. Even Papa's Island is so much better as a bad one than. I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna boost it up to 102 Garchomp speed stat, just so that they're all in the hundreds. Make it.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know if I would put it at 100. I think that Papa's Island is most likely going to be one of the bottom 6, maybe even one of the bottom 3. If you put all 24 of these teams together, I think that no one is ever taking Papa's Island. But even if you only put it inside all of the VGC and all the VGC teams, no one is ever going to take it, which I don't think is true for any of the other teams.
No, I won't. I would agree with you that no one's ever going to take it, but I'll also say this team is definitely not going winless. This team will pick up some dubs. It might finish last, but it's not getting shut out. Because
I was thinking within the context of taking.
Yeah. No. But I'm saying it's not so bad that it's definitely getting smoked. All right.
I don't think we picked which 6 were the top 6 for the other team, by the way.
Yeah, the top 6 that we have by points were Ingerland,
Gabagool, Swag, Eon Island, Anxious Millennial, Cowboy Island, and then Australia, which is mostly the bottom 5 teams. That's the bottom 6 teams.
Yeah, 5 of the bottom 6, and then Fadi's
Turns out having first pick overall is kind of good.
Well, yeah, Goldang. It's funny because for both those first 3 islands in the bottom right, their top pick is what's really helping them. More than anything, and then Eon's got Mousehold as his first pick, and his team is great, almost in spite of Mousehold. But whereas mine, it turns out that when you devote your first 2 picks to a strategy that is VGC only, turns out that doesn't make you a great singles team. So
I mean, Dondozo is good, right?
Yeah, but
the issue is that you've got 3 good Pokemon.
Yeah, and then I made everything else be designed to work around Dondozo. Which, by the way, did you see Co-Star Flamigo popping off next to Toxic Orb, Tatsugiri, and Dondozo this week?
I did play against it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. Yeah.
I mean, like it didn't actually do anything. And like game 2, they lost because they had Toxic Orbs out. That's scary. Like Flamigo is a funny gimmick, but like I lost whether it was there or not.
Okay.
If Dondozo was less good, then Flamigo would be more impactful. But Dondozo so often wins those games just by itself that it doesn't really.
I agree that game 1 it was definitely superfluous. Game 2 was really funny watching it get the actually game 2 and game 3 I think it switched in and almost immediately died. So
it also took both of those games.
Yeah. So
bulk up high armor. Too much.
This is true.
It's an okay Pokemon. It's just the design's really interesting. It's just that the position where it takes the most advantage of a Pokemon already too broken to meet it. So then I think it's most interesting next to like a Shell Smash sort of one.
Yeah. Or I've got it in my low tier league where our strongest Pokemon is Espathra, like Jumpluff, stuff like that. And
Espathra is way better than Jumpluff. What?
In VGC?
In VGC, I mean, Espathra is currently one of it's probably in the top 20 Pokemon in Series 2.
Maybe. But a
little bit worse than Drop, but
Jumpluff is very, 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 very good in a low power league where you have 0 Prankster Tailwind and you have not a lot of redirect.
Wait, no Fletchling to Fletchling.
Oh yeah, I mean you got Fletchling or Fletchling. I mean,
okay, sorry. So you banned 2 Pokemon.
Yes, sorry.
No, Jumpluff is really good. I have it in it's like a standard league, and it's really good.
Yeah. So anyway, Jumpluff is fine. Anyway, but in that league, I went up against Eon actually, Brian in his, and he had Sneasel Primate, and Glalie. So Glalie would Frost Breath into Primate to proc Anger Point, or Sneasel could beat up into Primate to get Rage Fist up, and which is just terrifying. And I had Espathra and I had Palmy use Mach Punch
on. Those strats lose really hard to opposing redirection.
Yes, but
and also just your opponent clicking a move.
I mean, Primate's very bulky. Primate's very bulky.
Wait, is bulky up crit by a Frost Breath?
Yeah, Frost Breath from
Glalie. 80 base special attack. It's a 60 base pound move that's always critical hitting.
But you run physical.
If you KO Primate with a double up, I'd be surprised.
No way. It does like
with a double up.
It does like 20. Frost Breath does like
Let's
20.
Look at Primates. So you couldn't do. So Primate is 65, 60, 70 stats.
Yeah, it was fully invested. Anyway, I ended up beating it with Espathra stored power after a weakness policy proc from a side Mach Punch from Palmy. So that was fun.
What did you turn into, Doc?
Normal. To be immune to Rage Fist.
Yep, that makes sense.
So it was fun. Definitely a hype set. Anyway, but I have Flamigo on that team. So I ended up taking it home by switching Flamigo in after I set up Espathra and then protected in game 3 while I Volt switched out with Palmy, which slowed Volt switch, so it got in safely. And then in comes Flamigo, and Flamigo copies Espathra's boosts, including the +2 to attack that he gets from weakness policy that he doesn't use. So that was a fun way to end the game.
Yeah, Flamigo definitely is a fun Pokemon. I've got it in one of my drafts.
How many leagues
the first draft I did this gen, I think. It's pretty fun.
How many leagues do you play in?
It was in 4 VGC and 2 singles, I think. Might have been 5. Okay,
wow.
So
that
VGC. One of them's finished.
More power to you, man.
Finished.
More power to you.
I mean, I don't think I'd do as many at the same time. Yeah. It's just this is a super fun meta starting off. And then I started playing Patstoza more than once, and I just was less enthralled with the format.
Yeah. Well,
everything else is great though.
Yeah. Anyway, you have a great night or day wherever you're at.
Well.
And
It's 5 p.m., so we can say night.
yeah, have a good evening, and enjoy watching the sunset. And I will get some sleep. I'm going to stop recording and put this up on YouTube. It'll be up on YouTube before I go to sleep.
And
Have a good one.
Jason, my channel's linked in the thing below.
Yeah. All right. No one is going to watch. I do not do YouTube like as a YouTube thing. I only have a YouTube channel so that I have a place to upload these videos to. But I can link your channels for all 5 people who will see the video.
We really appreciate the cross promotion. No, it's mostly just because the more you have your channel linked in other people's YouTube channels, the more YouTube will recommend your channel and such.
Perfect. I'll be glad to do it. All right, you have a good one.
Appreciate it. Good evening, everyone.
All right, goodbye.